Yo, good evening, good people. Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. You've got the super team of Sports Talk here with y'all. I'm one half of it, Diego Barista, the Black Dominican Russian. Here checking in, as always, with my main man, my partner in crime. I like to call him the 6 foot and under post-up jab. Tell these people who you are.
What's good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, the other 8 and 88 Sports, broadcasting live here on a Tuesday. We had a bye last week, so I had some shit going on, but we are back, good people. It's been a long time, but we here. Good, homie.
Nothing much, man. Tell the people the truth, man. You went to jail.
Well, you know, sometimes you got more time than money, man. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, man. Hey, some cats be on there for real. Week. I'll do the week.
I saw that shit in a movie. I think it was Colors. That dude was like, "You got tickets." He's like, "Shit, I got more time than money, man. I'll see y'all later."
Yeah. What's up, people? Y'all know that's fantasy. That only goes on in the movies. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. It's episode 197, baby. AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. We are here to recap NFL Week 7. Shit flying by. We recapping 8.
That's 8.
Yeah, week 8. Okay, halfway through the season. That's right, midway point.
Real halfway now, for real.
Yeah, like I said, enough plan for these teams. It's time to get the business if they ain't already got the business. So we're gonna recap.
My stick tonight. I really should have.
Hey man, we'll get to that. Yeah, I think we did y'all a favor. Hopefully,
that's the way I looked at it. I took it when you said it that way. I was like, all right, I can take it. We'll talk.
We'll get to it. But as always, people, don't forget to continue to subscribe. Leave us some comments. We appreciate all the feedback y'all been giving us. Check us out on the YouTube platform. Also, if you like podcasts, we are on Spreaker and iTunes as well. All right, let's get into these week 8 scores. We got some trade talk. A lot of more rumors than anything, but basically, it's some other stuff. A couple injuries. One quarterback kept it real, and he got benched for his troubles. We'll get to that.
Yes, sir.
Actually, a few quarterback benches this week. And maybe another cat that maybe needs to get benched. But we'll get to all that. We're gonna start off recapping. Now you have this score on here, but this is actually okay. That's the Monday night game. That's what threw me off. Okay, we had the Thursday night game. Washington Redskins went to Minnesota. Was that the Thursday night game last week? Yeah.
Yeah, I put Miami on there because, who cared about that game last night? We can just run the score.
Gotcha. Pittsburgh 27, Miami Dolphins 14. Miami was actually up 14-0.
I thought they were trying to win last night. It really seemed like it.
I thought it might be one of them Fitzmagic nights the way that it started. But that fizzled pretty quickly.
Yep.
Pittsburgh took that L. I'm sorry, that win. Then the Thursday night game from last week, which seems like an eternity ago, but Minnesota won that game 19-9 over the Redskins. I watched this game. Can't tell you. I don't even remember what happened. Not that it matters when you play the Redskins, right? But
I expected them to blow them out, but they didn't.
Right. They still doing. One thing I will say about Minnesota that I kind of kept an eye out for. Dalvin Cook he's balling, and it's more than just a chunk run making his numbers look good. At the end of the day, he's actually still averaging about 5 or 6 yards a carry, even when you take those runs out.
Yeah.
So
he's starting to level out now. You're not seeing them 150, 170-yard games now. 120, 110, somewhere around there. Those are more realistic than what we were seeing. So he's leveling out, but he's balling. Yeah,
and you know what? You don't really see many 100-yard games from backs no more.
No.
Not a lot of them, not like you used to. You get a back that's gonna run for 110 a week now. That's real good.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Minnesota continues to do. It all depends on Kirk Cousins. Ever since he's kind of turned his play around, they started winning some ball games. So
Stephon Diggs got it together too.
Yeah.
So they look good.
All right, good win for them. Next up, this game started off a complete blowout. Second half, I don't know if it was Atlanta playing with some pride or Seattle just kind of fucking around, letting them get back in it. But the Seahawks won 27-20 over the Falcons. I mean, we know the Falcons are now 1-7. They had Matt Sharp starting this game. Their season's all but done. They traded somebody.
450 yards rushing. Passing in that game.
I mean, when you down 24-0 in the first half, you got no choice but to throw after that.
Yeah. I don't have much on them. I'm just surprised that that dude still ain't got fired. I'm really surprised.
Hey man, I'm not. Say he should be, but due to who got
should have got fired. Going into the bye, that was a perfect time to fire him. Fire him Monday morning, shit like that, and just keep it moving. But all I keep hearing is votes of confidence. So hey, rock on.
Yeah, all the blanks still talking about he wants to evaluate the team. What the fuck are you evaluating at 1-7?
What you evaluating at 1-7?
The only thing I can think of or try to figure out here is he's waiting to after the bye to see if they show some pride against the Saints and then the next week against y'all, against the top two division rivals.
In Atlanta or in
These first two, this first one is in New Orleans because the Thanksgiving game is in Atlanta.
They can get their ass kicked.
So that's the only thing.
I'm by this week too. But both of them on bye playing. New Orleans on bye this week. Yes,
they are okay.
Yeah, so they both gonna be well rested, and New Orleans are gonna bust their head.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta need to buy more so they can try to get Matt Ryan back in this thing for that game. But I'm assuming that Dan Quinn's immediate future may rest on the how the team comes out and plays, especially in that Saints game.
Now, if they win that game, he's good for the rest of the year. He's probably good for the rest of the year now. So,
as long as they play hard, I think win or lose, he may be okay to the end of the year. They come out there, get 40 dropped on him. He even off the blank might say, enough is enough.
Yeah. So we'll see. It ain't
all right.
Seattle got it done. They're rolling still. They are currently, I think it would be a whole lot more talk about Seattle if y'all weren't, 7-0. It'd be a whole lot more talk about them.
Yeah, Seattle, they was getting more to talk even when we were like 4-0, 5-0. They was getting most of the talk because people still was unsure about us. But it's a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So I was hoping the Falcons pulled an upset this past week so we could try to get a 3-game cushion in the division. But we got a 2-game cushion right now. We got Arizona this week, Seattle the following week, and then Arizona again. So we got a chance here, an opportunity to put some distance between ourselves. Now this week we won 51-13 against y'all Panthers.
One thing about my team,
right,
is when we get our ass kicked, it's bad.
Yeah.
This had the liking. This just like the Pittsburgh game last year.
I was thinking about that Sunday watching it. I was like, I know he probably thinking this is the same shit against Pittsburgh.
It's the same shit. It's like if we're gonna lose, cause we're gonna lose bad. So, but a 50 burger, and Jimmy didn't really have to do shit in that game.
Coming off a bye too, that's why I was a little surprised. Y'all, came off a bye and y'all played the way that y'all played. But at the same time, I got to give my defense, credit. Led by Nick Bosa on that front line. The boy's an animal. Let's just call it what it is. But I couldn't even really talk too much shit to you, man. Not in good conscience because I knew, you knew.
Yeah, I know.
That Kyle Allen was not the answer. Before we get into Kyle,
him, shout out to your offensive line. All them sacks we came in with, Jimmy didn't take one.
Yeah, he took one to safety.
Oh, sorry, to safety. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. They got out that one, but I get what you're saying. They've been doing pretty good. Now, part of that is due to Shanahan's play calling because he's calling a lot of plays to get the ball out of Jimmy's hands quick when it comes to a pass. So he's kind of been doing that to protect us because, we got the right and the left tackle out.
Yeah.
So he's been making sure Jimmy gets the ball out of his hands quick to protect him in that regard, which is also why some of the downfield stuff you're not seeing from Jimmy as much, which is the next level I want to see from him.
Yeah.
Sunday, I don't even think we took one deep shot Sunday. I think it was one maybe 25, 30-yard pass down the field to Emmanuel Sanders, and it was way off. But Marquise Goodwin wasn't there. That's our stretch the field dude. He wasn't there this week. So the offense, I ain't gonna say it looks limited, but when you can run the ball like we've been running it, why in the defense playing the way that they playing, why risk it and have a guy that's really still new in the offense come out there and try to be the guy and throw 40 times for 300 yards? Why do that?
Now, the shit that did piss me off about this game, it wasn't a lot, but this pissed me off. We saw Tevin Coleman all them years in Atlanta. We saw him.
Right.
It's the same shit. He's fast. Damn. It felt like the game a couple years ago. He just ran up and down the field on us with the Falcons.
And with him, it's mostly always something zone to the outside.
Yeah. Yep.
With that he ends up breaking. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I don't know why, but we appreciate it. He was getting loose.
Now let's get to the business. Now I was feeling away Sunday, and one of the homies jumped on the personal chat like damn, the Panthers got their ass kicked, and you came in, you was like, hey, we did it for Cam. I was laughing.
we did it for Cam. We did it for Cam.
Like, you know what? That's a silver lining in this shit, because at the end of the day, that snowball was rolling down the hill. We don't need Cam. We don't need him. Hey, when he got on that plane, I think it was Saturday, I was like, he getting there. Yeah. He getting there. And he ain't saying shit to the media. I was like, he probably knew. Yeah, we're going to let him go out there, see a real blitz, see a real defense. Go on out there, Kyle, see what's good.
Right.
Hey, it's a big difference between starting and coming off that bench, man. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Three interceptions. He looked lost. Or what's the term everybody's using this year? He's seeing ghosts. Man. It's
I mean, like I say, I think he's solid. Don't get me wrong, but we talking about taking Cam's job. I mean, stop it. I think this is the year of the backup quarterback. So
Absolutely.
I think that storyline is going even further because of that. But a lot of these cats are doing this is ideally how you want your backups playing.
Yeah.
Win you games, hold down the fort until the starter gets back healthy or gets back from suspension or whatever the case may be. So they doing their jobs. I mean, these cats are in the NFL for a reason. I know we and most fans, we talk shit about backup quarterbacks for the most part, because compared to everything else, they're trash, but better than 90% of the general population when it comes to playing NFL football. So we got to keep that in mind. So Kyle solid, but yeah, he gonna go back to where he belongs on the sideline.
And it's just fascinating. All these TV shows every day, he's going to take Cam Newton's job. He's running the offense better. Shout out to Bucky Brooks. He's the only person on TV, I believe, that's been banging the desk for Cam Newton. He's like, this whole thing is based off that Arizona game. He had 4 touchdowns against Arizona. So look at the rest of them games. It was Christian McCaffrey in the defense. He's managing it. Cam Newton can take them somewhere that they cannot currently go with him as quarterback. So, of course, he's starting on Sunday. We're going long. This is about to get off of it.
That was good. This is good stuff.
He's starting on Sunday against Tennessee, and I kind of figured they were going to throw him out there against 2 solid defenses. Now, they moved the time back on that Green Bay game to 4:25. I don't know
if
he's
the game after this week, right?
Yeah, the game after this week. I don't know if he's going to see the whole game, but I guess it don't matter, though, because we got to see when Cam's going to dress. If they dress Cam next week, that's basically saying if this shit get out of hand, Cam's coming in the game. So I'm interested to see if he's active this week.
Against Tennessee?
Yeah, against Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think he'd definitely be back for Green Bay.
I can see that. Because it comes down to, are you going to punt the season? We're 4-4 now, if I'm not mistaken. No, 4-3. We're 4-3 right now. So we go 4-4. You at the halfway point. You kind of want to, if you want to at least attempt to, try to get in the playoffs, you can't be experimenting if you got somebody who's better that can play.
Right.
So we're gonna see
and that's gonna be a big sign too. Now that you mentioned that playoffs and everything, because I'm trying to pull up the last half of y'all schedule here real quick to see what it's looking like.
New Orleans twice, Atlanta twice.
Okay,
we get
probably
division games. So
you already paid Tampa twice, but it would be interesting to see if you keep if Kyle Allen is still in this game or still starting after this week, you have to start looking at the theory of maybe they moving on because now you pretty much taking your playoff chances purposely if you continue to leave him in there. So
that's a huge word that we never really heard in the NFL, but we're seeing it so much now. These teams are legit tanking. They're legit tanking, and I don't get why. But if
some of them are just bad.
What's up?
A lot of them are just bad.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll see which way it goes. But if he's not active for that Green Bay game, I'll know it's some ulterior shit because I don't believe he would travel if he wasn't close. I just don't believe he'd let people have film on him throwing pregame if he wasn't close.
No, Cam. It wouldn't come from Cam, and that's why I said if that would have happened, I think I said it a few weeks back. We were discussing this on one of them episodes. If it comes down to the point that it comes from up top and it ain't Ron Rivera's call, within Cam's body language, a subliminal Instagram post or something, we know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Cam is the type of person that'd be able to hold that in and play company man and come out in front of the press conferences and just say the right thing. He'll give us some insight.
But at the end of the day, Rivera's coaching for a job too. At the very end of the day. So we'll see which way it goes. But, shout out to y'all getting it done. We're going to talk about y'all a little bit later, but I underestimated. I ain't going to flex. I underestimated. I didn't know y'all was this damn good. So we got to get to it. All right, let's keep it moving. The Eagles went up to Buffalo and got a much-needed win. They won 31-13. I thought this game would be a lot closer than what it was. Especially Buffalo came in at 5-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe 5-1 they came in.
That's right. They had an early bye. The only game they lost was to New England. It was close.
Right.
So I expected them to play a lot better game. But, as much as I like Josh Allen, he does compete. He's still not there yet as a quarterback. He's working on it.
The offense is still a little bit limited.
Yes, very. Because essentially you back there running a wing T with him. Maybe he can make a pass here and there, but if you take away the running game and he got to throw, that's kind of how you beat them. You can't get down 2 touchdowns. They ain't built to come back. So, but what'd you see from the Eagles? I mean, I'm sure you didn't catch a whole lot of this game, but.
I figured I saw only you're right a few plays here and there. One of them was the Miles Sanders long touchdown run, but I was looking for some camaraderie. I was looking to see how they interacted with each other out on the field after doing good shit. You knew they was going to be ready to play based on everything that had happened over the last couple of weeks. So I figured they would come out and play hard like a vet team with their backs against the wall. I didn't think they would probably win 31-13, but right. I did pick them to win for those reasons. Now that they sitting at 4-4, they should look at it clean slate 0-0, especially with Dallas looking a little bit iffy. I broke down the Eagles' schedule for the remaining part of the year. I think the next 4 games they should be able to split.
Yeah.
And then the last 4 games, I think they should be able to go 3-1 in those games. The next 4 games, they've got they got the Bears this week. I think they should be able to win that the way Trubisky and their offense is going right
Philly,
now.
If I'm not mistaken.
It's in Philly. Then they got a bye. Coming out of the bye, they've got New England at home. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Then they have Seattle at home, another tough game. 2 tough games, but they at home, so that's a good thing. Yeah. And then the next one is at Miami, so that should be a W. So that's why I say they should be able to split the next 4, 2-2.
Yeah. And
then the last 4, you've got the Giants at home, at the Redskins, Cowboys at home, at the Giants. You should be able to do 3-1 on that.
You should go 3-1.
So they should beat 9-7 at the least. And I think that as most years go, 9-7 should probably win you the NFC East.
Yeah, I agree. You think they took an L by not doing something today for that secondary?
I think it remains to be seen because I think they didn't make a move because they just got the 2 Jalen Mills and another guy back last week from injury,
Darby,
I think.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Darby. So if those 2 guys come and stop the bleeding in that secondary, then they'll be fine if they make the playoffs. But if they don't make the playoffs and they the secondary continues to leak, those guys don't play up to par, then yeah, it's going to be some questions that's going to be asked.
Yeah, shout out to Orlando Scandrick for giving them exactly what they needed to be motivated to win this game on Sunday.
Right. Exactly.
All right, let's keep it moving. This was a trash game. The Chargers beat the Bears 17-16. As much shit we can talk about the Bears, has anybody that you can recall in the last couple of years had this much issue with kicking? Anybody?
Nope.
I mean, even when shit is laid out for them to win.
Maybe Minnesota, I think for a couple of years, Blair Walsh, and they missed that kick when Teddy Bridgewater was quarterback, I think next couple of years they had some kicking problems. But the Bears are by far leading the pack.
Oh, my God. That game was won. But the bigger thing, though, there's no trust in Trubisky right now. Like, none.
Nope. I mean, when the Bears had the ball and it was 40, 50 seconds on the clock?
Yeah.
And they got to the target field goal line and said, fuck, are we kneeling? What?
Right now. But that happened in the first half, too. They're not putting the ball in his hands they're not. How do you what are they going to do? Because they're not going to sit them down this year. So what can they do?
They stuck with him. And I'm going to skip to one of your observations or notes on the backside. You know, what should Chicago do in the offseason? I think for right now they got to ride with him. Just for
you would bring competition in this offseason?
Well, hopefully I'm not too long-winded and I can explain this the right way and quickly. A couple reasons they can, but I don't think the competition is going to be that stellar. I say that because if you look at the competition is usually some quarterbacks that are bums right now or bottoming out right now on certain teams, and they'll be released or whatever. They'll be on the free market. So we're looking at possibly Ryan Tannehill if the Titans will go another way. Mariota, Jameis Winston, maybe.
Crazy question.
Andy Dalton, them kind of guys.
I was about to say, is he better than Trubisky right now?
So that would be the competition that you would bring in. They can't draft anybody.
No.
Because they've given away, they mortgaged their future.
Yes.
I just realized here, again, skipping to one of your other notes, the Bears pick is going to Oakland. They first round pick going to Oakland next year.
Right.
So you got all these quarterbacks that are coming out that if you wanted to go another way, you probably can't because them quarterbacks, because they're going to start going top 10, top 12. And you probably don't have the collateral to move that far up.
They got to win now defense. They can't really go back to a rookie and say, okay, well, we're going to do 3 years to try to build. That's right. You got to win now.
I heard Jay Glazer today, and I agree with him on some of his points as it kind of coincided with my train of thinking of how I think quarterbacks should be treated. Yes, you got some that can come in right away and go ahead and be starters and be perfectly fine. But I'm still a little old school in the fact that some of these cats need to be holding the clipboard for their first at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Some of them 3, you know. And Trubisky, if you look at it, he is really, a junior in college as far as playing-wise. He started 1 year at Carolina, and this is his third year as a starter.
This is his third year.
It's his third year.
Yeah.
So you thought he had some promise last year, and you've been talking good things with him in the offseason. Why has that not translated to the field this year? So is it coaching? Is it personnel? Is it play calling? Is he just regressed? They got to figure that out. So that's why I think ultimately that they'll go ahead and stick with him another year.
Well,
they just gave up too much capital. Go ahead.
Well, you just laid it out. They ain't got a choice, really. Now, one thing that you just said that made sense too, the coaching. Do you think that playbook might be too complicated for him?
It's very possible, because for Matt Nagy to have, and I'm not a Matt Nagy guy. I know of him. I ain't gonna say I know exactly what he all about before he started being a head coach. I'm not gonna say that, but around the league, people look at him as one of those young, offensive-minded gurus in the league. This offense that we seeing, his shit got to be more complex than this. It's got to be. And if Trubisky can't handle this basic shit that we seeing, we'll never get to the other chapters of the playbook.
Now, you can tell he's an Andy Reid guy. Now, we can get off this after this, but you can tell he's an Andy Reid guy because he'll fall in love with the pass and neglect the run completely. Neglect it. Now, look at how they played Sunday when they gave the young boy 27 carries.
you kind of need to protect Trubisky in that regard. He don't need to be
Yeah.
throwing 50 times a game. He don't.
And why does it take you 7-8 weeks to figure that out? I don't know.
Right.
Especially when everybody was expecting David Montgomery to kind of come in here and be the lead back, especially when you traded Jordan Howard away before the season started. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe this is one of those situations where the guy is so smart he dumb.
You know, a lot of these NFL cats are so smart that they are dumb as hell.
Absolutely.
You hit the nail on the head there.
All right, let's keep it moving. The Giants went up to Detroit and lost 31-26. I think it's house money for the Giants right now. They're getting experience for Daniel Jones. Saquon didn't get hurt. I think they need some you got to look at it that way.
Right.
You know, I think they need some help on the outside. I can't see Sterling Shepard getting cleared to play again this year. I can't see that.
Okay, I mean, we'll see, but I think you're right though. They are playing with house money, just for the simple fact that it's not a dumpster fire like we thought it was going to be.
Right.
You know, you actually can go into some of these games, and actually, depending on who they playing, say, hey, the Giants might win this game.
Right.
Before the season, I wouldn't have said that. You know, I thought they would be in a position like the Bengals and the Redskins and the Dolphins right now. So.
Yeah.
In that regard, they they're in pretty good shape. They got to add some things in the off season, but they looking all right now.
I don't know what to say about Detroit. Detroit is Detroit. I mean, they win the ones that they should against the suckers, but there's no big wins.
Detroit is sitting at 3-3-1. They got, and this is where it's heartbreaking for Lions fans all the time. They just good enough to have you maybe trying to carve out a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But not good enough to fulfill that hope ever. And, 3-3-1 right now, they staring a 9-6-1 kind of season right in the face. And that ain't going to get you in the playoffs in the NFC.
Detroit is that restaurant you go to where the appetizers are just everything. Come down to that meal, though. That meal be trash.
Not so hot, right?
But this Detroit. I mean, we can close our eyes next year and probably say the same shit. We'll be talking. This is just what they do, unfortunately.
Right.
All right.
But they're sitting in a better spot and they're playing better football than I thought they would be. So
now just imagine had they pulled out that Green Bay game, they tied week 1 against Arizona. They'd be sitting real good right now if they'd won them 2 games. Real good.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is. All right, the Titans beat Tampa Bay 27-23. I think we don't talk much during the day, football Sunday. Here and there we might text because we both like to watch the games quietly. I think I text you Sunday afternoon like, man, J-Boo need to sit down. This is getting out of hand. James ain't them turnovers, guys.
I wasn't watching the game when you texted me, so I didn't get to see him. When I turned, I think the game was still like it was kind of close, so I didn't know exactly what had happened.
You know how it go with him. It's just like they just start rolling. He'll throw one.
Yeah.
It'll be another one. I think he threw 3. Now, shout out to Bruce Arians. He came out, he was pretty fiery. He said, Jameis played his ass off. His receivers let him down. They dropped balls and they broke off routes, and some of that shit was on Jameis throwing that ball the wrong way.
Bruce Arians is coming across like a used car salesman to me this year when it comes to his comments in the press conferences about Jameis.
Yeah.
He's saying all the right things. He don't want to say the wrong thing, but I bet you as soon as the season ends,
Jameis' ass is gone. Gone. I don't have much on this game. It was ugly. I believe Tampa had a chance to win. I want to say Jameis had either a fumble or a turnover late. That's just
okay. I want to see
some of these teams to get good after a while. Tampa legit has not been good since Warren Sapp left. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. It's funny how you have the same handful of teams that are consistently good. You have the same handful of teams that are consistently bad. You got 2 more groups. You got a group that's just always middle of the pack. And then you got a group that sometimes they're very, very bad and sometimes they're very, very good. Yeah. My Niners in
I believe Carolina
fall in that group. So it's crazy how the league is like that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Denver lost 13-15 to the Colts. Hard fought game, defensive struggle. They were on Jacoby Brissett's ass this entire game. On him. Sometimes that Denver defense can do work, but the offense not so much. And I think the story of this game was Joe Flacco's post game interview. People, this is what you call keeping it real. Joe went to the podium, and Joe doesn't normally talk. If I had him playing in the other room and he was talking, I wouldn't know that was Joe Flacco because you don't hear his damn voice. You really don't. So for Joe to speak up, basically Joe was upset because he felt like we're not being aggressive. Joe probably said we're a 2-6 team 5 times in that post-game interview. 5 times. I mean, we're 2-6. Why are we not being aggressive? I mean, I just don't understand. He kept saying that shit, and I was like, wow, Joe is shitting on him.
I thought it was a meme when I first saw it. I'm like, is this happening?
Right. Flacco. Never talks. This the same dude who got $100 million and went and got some chicken nuggets. He doesn't talk. You know, he's a regular dude. So for him to speak up and be upset, shit was real.
Right.
And I couldn't disagree with him. I couldn't.
No,
you got to be aggressive at some point. But I think that aggressive stuff, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you got an opinion on this. It seems like the defensive coaches are less aggressive outside of Rivera. He's always aggressive, it seems like. But them defensive head coaches don't really seem aggressive like that on offense. It kind of seems.
Yeah, I mean, now that you say that, I mean, you know, you look at Brian Flores blew a gasket Sunday, but you look at just going back, you look at like Lovie Smith, Tony Dungy, I mean, look at Dan Quinn. I mean, he ain't really all that aggressive. He just is not a good head coach. But you know, what you're saying is kind of right because you look at the offensive cats, Sean Payton's, Andy Reid's, Nagy, you know. Shit don't go right, they screaming and kicking and fighting, you know, fussing. So, I don't know, maybe there is something to it.
And as soon as it happened, I was like, they're going to sit him down. But maybe Joe showed his ass like that because he knew he was hurt. He wasn't going to be playing anyway. So.
or is he really hurt?
Or is he really hurt?
Just to cover up, you know, because it was funny.
Escalated quickly. It was like, okay, you got a back injury, neck in the back.
Right.
And it was like, okay, he might miss this week. And then it was like, he might move. He might sit for the rest of the season. I was like, okay, here they go.
Right, here they go.
So, shout out to Joe, man. Keeping it real. Shout out to him. All right, what else we got here? The London game. The Rams beat the Bengals 24-10. I don't understand why all the London games can't start at 1:00 in the afternoon.
I said it Sunday. I was like, this is a London game. Here they go again with the bullshit. They could have made. I think it was y'all in Tampa. They could have made that game 1:00.
Yeah, I don't get that shit. If you can play some of them at 1, why can't all of them be played at 1? So, but anyway, the Tampa got it. Not Tampa. The Rams won the game 24-10. They took their foot off the gas. Once again, we're on this show. We can tell you again, if you take away Cooper Kupp, that kind of takes away the passing game. I'm not saying them other dudes can't catch the ball. But if you take away Cooper Kupp, it kind of hurts Jared Goff.
Especially this version.
There's no way.
Especially this version of the Rams. Because last year's version, before they got before Cooper Kupp went out, you can say, well, even if you take away Kupp, you still got to check for Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods because the running game is working, so the play action is there for the deep shots down the field. Well, the running game ain't hitting on that this year. So the play action and the deep shit ain't down the field. So Cooper Kupp is pretty much it.
He is the clear-cut 1 on that team. A 1 from the slot. And we were talking, I think, last
$495,000, I think, this year.
Boy, I think we were talking last night saying at some point they're gonna have to pay him.
Yeah.
At some point. And the numbers right now, y'all can't come at him with that. Well, you know, you're a slot guy. Not with what he's doing. They're going to have to pay. So it's gonna be interesting how they figure out this situation with their payroll. But I don't have much on Cincinnati. They got their ass whooped again. They're 0-8, and this game apparently cost Andy Dalton his job.
Yeah,
So
this one out of all of them, this one.
All them games, this the one. Fascinating, boy. I tell you,
the one that you had to fly 14 hours to go play. You know what I'm saying? With a bad team.
Yeah.
You know.
So and that right there. I mean, if they're 0-8 and they're going to be picking 1, 2, or 3, one way or the other,
Absolutely.
they're giving Ryan Finley, I think that's his name. They're giving him a look for the rest of the year. I don't give a damn if he balls the rest of this year. You know, and I know they're taking a quarterback at the top of the draft. So that just feels to me like you're tanking. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you were winning with Dalton, but to sit there and we're gonna put the young dude in for the rest of the year to see what we got. No, y'all trying to secure draft position. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
AJ coming back to that shit. That's another story. That's another. You know how I feel about that shit.
The bungles, man, the bungles.
You got anything on that?
I think what you was talking about, we'll get to it later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about the rumors at least that didn't happen. All right, the Saints beat the Cardinals 31-9. You know, you can be a team with low expectations and still play hard. The Cardinals have had a successful season to me, considering what they got. They done won 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't think they were gonna win that many. So, and a tie. So, shout out to them. New Orleans got it done. Drew Brees, I didn't think he should have played this week. I guess coming back playing against Arizona's defense was a good elixir because he had over 300 yards. I'm really starting to feel like this is head and shoulders the best team in the league right now.
You like the Saints?
I'm starting to really feel that way.
Okay. They definitely right up there.
Yeah. I know we're gonna talk about the Power Fives on Thursday, but they're pretty damn solid. I don't really see a lot of weaknesses. I really don't right now.
Right, and I think out of all of the top teams, if you start throwing in us and the Patriots, and I think somebody else is 5-1. I got the shit right here in front of me. I mean, just look at it.
Okay, let's say Green Bay, y'all, New Orleans, and New England.
Right.
I think out of all of those teams, who you think got a better offense, them or Green Bay?
I think the Saints have a little bit better offense, but I was just going to say I think the Saints have a good argument for the best team in the league spot right now because they've beaten out of all of the games they've beaten the best competition. Yeah. Top to bottom. So,
but they got it done. They go on a bye and they get to come off that bye and get Dan Quinn fired, as we discussed a little while ago. What we got next? Another blah game. The Jets lost to Jacksonville 29-15. I love how the excuses are made for Sam Darnold. At some point, he throws a lot of picks. He throws a lot. The offensive line ain't necessarily where it needs to be, but we're going to talk about that in a second. I had a question about him as a quarterback, but Jacksonville got it done. Next up, New England and Cleveland. It was raining cats and dogs in this game, and Nick Chubb basically helped New England out early with 2 fumbles. 2 fumbles on good runs. He was moving well. They were running the ball and doing good. But you cannot give this team good field position. You can't give them that. Their offense don't scare nobody at this point. It's the defense. At least in my opinion, the defense is what's scary about New England right now. But another bad showing for Baker. Another one.
Yeah, man, they Browns are trash.
Yeah,
we're gonna see how good New England's defense really is. I don't buy this all-time great defense like people are throwing out there because I'm still looking at the team. Yeah, you got to play the schedule, but I'm looking at the teams that they beat. You haven't shut down any type of elite quarterback talent. So
what they
now
got
these next
up,
5 games, right? Yeah. Now you do the same thing against them 5 quarterbacks. I think it's a combination of. I think the worst quarterback in the group may be Dak. I know you've got Russell Wilson. I think they play.
Well, the next 5 they got They got the Ravens, at the Eagles, Dallas, Houston, the Chiefs.
Okay.
So them some good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And it's a toss-up between Dak and Lamar's, which one is the worst, but them some solid quarterbacks. We're going to find out a lot against these offenses. A lot.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. That's another reason I'm looking forward to. We're talking about the Saints just now. We got a matchup with them on December 8th, and we got one with Green Bay in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to those two games as the next step to see what my defense can do against a top-notch offense.
Yeah, after y'all get done beating on the Cardinals on Thursday, you got Seattle, Green Bay, the Ravens, and the Saints, Atlanta, and then you mix in the Rams and Seattle.
We got to make sure we come Thursday to play. We can't take that game for granted. The Cardinals play us good at home, and we've got some running back injuries coming into this week. Breida may not play.
Y'all gonna be all over Kyler little ass.
But see, he is very fast and he's mobile. He can elude the pocket, and I want to see how that defensive line adjusts against that. We haven't played a quarterback that's going to move around as much as he's going to move around. So, Bosa and all these cats, they've been pretty much going after the pocket guys and statues. They know where they're going to be at.
That's true.
You always know where Kyler Murray going to be at. So we're going to have to make sure that we keep an eye on his.
Y'all big too, so he's small. So he gonna probably be crawling, going between y'all legs. And
they're gonna have to because he gonna be able to sit back there in the pocket because our two defensive ends, DeForest Buckner and Armstead, they both 6'7". So. Yeah, he's not going to have success trying to sit there in the pocket and throw over that.
All right, next up, got last two games. Oakland lost to Houston 27-24. Play of the game seemed like Deshaun Watson got kicked in the eye, adjusted his face mask, and threw a touchdown in one motion.
In the same motion.
In the same motion. Kicked in the eye with a cleat. In the eye. Man.
I just knew the Raiders had this game because in addition to the Bears kicker, Oakland, they cost me a perfect sheet this week in money. Okay. But Oakland played good this game. They've been playing some pretty decent football. They got to close a little bit better, I think.
And shit, what we were talking about a little while ago, Oakland is currently slated, if things ended today, to have the 11th and the 13th pick in the draft. With the talent they have right now.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Bears thinking when they traded that pick for Khalil Mack, thinking that was going to be a low first round pick.
No.
Doesn't look that way.
No.
And you're sitting with Mitchell Trubisky, and Pat Mahomes was in Kansas City. You could have had him. Deshaun Watson, that we just talked about, is in Houston. You could have had him, and you mortgaged half of your future to us. The other
there's
half,
no guarantee that pick won't rise. There's no guarantee.
Because the way that the Bears going right now,
yeah. Boy, they're gonna be sick on their stomach if that shit end up in the top 5 somewhere. Oh, they be sick.
Because at some point, do you think Nagy will pull the plug and go back to Chase Daniels?
I would. I mean, what they got Philly this week, right? Let him go out there and piss the bed against them. They're gonna be calling for it because you can see the frustration. It is in his face. Yeah. So and you know you can't kick field goals at this point. So shit, what you gonna do?
You can start by running the ball to get your kicker a little bit closer.
Yeah, I mean that helps.
Especially when he's struggling. The closer the better. Just because you get to the green line, even though they can't see the green line on the field.
Right. But then when he went up there, you knew he was gonna miss that kick. I knew he was gonna miss it.
Did you see his face? I
knew he was gonna miss that kick. As soon as he got up there, I was like, "This is about a 30-yard, a 35-yard, give or take. He gonna miss this shit." Anyway, all right, last one, the Sunday night game. Green Bay beat Kansas City 31-24. A lot of folks thought that Kansas City's offense was gonna fall off with Mahomes on the sideline. This game was a lot closer than it should have been to me. A lot closer. Had Shady McCoy not, did what he does and fumble away,
right.
That's what Shady does. It's what he does. That fumble changed the whole game right there. Just changed it.
Yeah, man. Matt Moore tried to do a little something. It wasn't enough, but the Chiefs' defense, the Green Bay still scored 31 points, but the defense is stepping up a little bit.
They are.
They don't look as leaky as they looked, those first few weeks. So if they can at least play like this and continue to get a little bit better, they'll be in pretty good shape. Because as it stands, man, somebody got to get New England some competition in this AFC.
Who do you see doing it?
It's got to be either the Chiefs. And as much as I want to say Baltimore, I know what Belichick does to quarterbacks that are young in playoff games. And I still need to see more from Lamar in passing. I still got to see it.
Looking forward to that one.
And I think the team is looking to see it too, because they started to run him more and more these last couple of weeks like they've been doing. So, a lot of people out there talking about people hating on Lamar. Some of them are, but some of them got legit questions and concerns. Like, it ain't all together just yet.
It's really not. And if anybody thinks that it's rational to have your quarterback run 15 to 20 times,
by design.
It's not the wave. That shouldn't be happening now. These are, like you said, design runs.
Right.
So, yeah. Now, let's go back to Mahomes. They're saying he might play next week.
Yeah, he wanted to play this week. So, if he can.
A dislocated kneecap. I mean, I know they put it back in place, but it seemed like you have to sit a little bit behind that. Seemed like.
I mean, as long as there ain't no ligament damage, I mean, it's like a jam finger.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you can tolerate the pain, or if there's going to still be pain, you still got your flexibility. There's no swelling. Going back out there. I know some of the doctors talked about how some players have loose kneecaps.
Yeah.
So after they dislocated one time, it can continue to slip out here and there. So outside of that, that's about the only thing they got to look forward to. We'll see if he's planting on that. I think it's his back plant leg, right?
Yeah.
So if he's still, we'll see how he's planting on it. If he's running, stopping, cutting, doing all the things that he normally do, that'll tell us how healthy he is.
Why, at least the talk I see, when people talking about the NFC, it's the Saints and y'all at this point. Mm-hmm. Does Green Bay scare you?
Oh, Green Bay's getting a lot of talk. I think it's those three teams right now.
It seems like they're trailing in at third though, because people are scared of your defense. They scared of the Saints defense. But
I think that's a legit statement, because like we said, we think this. I don't, because my team's 7-0, but the Saints legitimately are right there in the talk for the best. I mean, look at the teams that they've beat, and mostly with a backup quarterback. The only game that they lost was the game that Drew went out and Teddy was thrown into a game in progress. That's the only thing that they've lost.
Yeah.
So you got to look at the Saints as being better. It's being better than Green Bay. So, and of course, with us being undefeated, the way the defense is playing, Green Bay, they got to hold up the third spot right now.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that seed in the spots right now don't really matter a whole lot, because it's going to be about the big dance. And we're really looking at these next couple of weeks, we're going to see how those three teams fare, especially with us playing both of them.
Yeah.
How the seeding is going to play out.
Yeah.
Because one of those three teams, the way it's looking right now, let's just say those are top three teams at the end of the season. One of those teams going to have to play two of those teams.
Yeah.
In order to get to where they want to go, and one of those teams only going to have to play one of them. So that's going to be big, home field advantage. And you've seen this in the playoffs, especially with us in the Harbaugh time when we played Green Bay, when we played the Saints, where we had the chance to play them in the playoffs in our backyard. So that's going to be big. That's going to be big.
Absolutely. All right. Keep it moving. Can we talk at this point right now today? Which quarterback you got the most faith in right now today? Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold?
Believe it or not, I'll probably say Sam. I think Sam. I think Sam is going to be. I think Sam is going to be just fine. This is really what his 17th, 18th game. Did he start
17th? Yeah.
Okay, so I think he's going to be fine, because you still got questions about the offensive weapons up there.
Yeah.
So that that plays a big part into it. The O-line, that's not so good either. But yes, he does throw a lot of interceptions and picks right now, but a lot of young quarterbacks too. I mean, look at Andrew Luck. Look at Brett Favre. We can go down the list. Matt Ryan. We can go down the list of young quarterbacks that throw a lot of picks. Hell, Jimmy Garoppolo, he ain't young in age, but he's young as far as starting games. I think he's at his 16th or 17th start as well. He's throwing basically a pick a game, and that's too many. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to give them
4 games apart, but their numbers are so similar with 4 games apart. So, but I kind of feel the same way. This Baker thing is unraveling. It seems like to me, they need a hard reset.
Yeah,
Freddie gonna have to get out the way. I don't know what they're gonna do with head coach because Freddie's not the answer.
Yeah,
but
because the reason I say Darnold is because you can look at Darnold and say his mistakes come from either trusting his arm too much, trying to fit balls in tight windows, or he's simply misreading coverages or getting outsmarted right now. Yeah. And those are things he can overcome. Yeah. I look at Baker, and I'm looking at a dude that is in the pocket, patting the ball, unsure where to go, not really reading the field well. Those are things that, they can be overcome, but they're harder to overcome, especially when you don't have a head coach that knows what the fuck he's doing. Not that Adam Gase is any second coming of Vince Lombardi either.
Who the quarterback coach is there?
Where at?
In Cleveland. I bet it's some no-name ass dudes we ain't never heard of before.
Wasn't it? I don't know, because the line of succession has been depleted.
Yes.
Because it was Hugh, Todd Haley, and was it then Freddie?
Yeah,
no, Freddie was running back coach.
I mean, he was calling the plays. I want to say second half when they fired Hugh.
I don't know if they even hired anybody.
J.J. Watt's out for the season. He tore a pectoral muscle.
Again.
J.J. has played 32 of a possible 64 games over the last 4 seasons. He went on the IR 3 straight years. J.J. needs to get better steroids.
Oh, them steroids is done. They wore off.
His shit's analog. You need to get some of that new shit because you're getting hurt too much.
And what's funny, I was thinking about this when I saw the new Sunday. He's up for a payday, and you kind of shipped Clowney off. So you might have picked the wrong dude.
Didn't we talk about that, though?
Yep.
We talked about this multiple times. Like, you're going to send the young dude away for a guy coming off crutches again.
Yeah.
And you ain't got no pass rush now.
Now you got a tore titty.
And he going to sign a new contract with his arm in a sling in March, probably. Because they're going to pay him. What choice they got? They're going to pay him. Because JJ is a superhero.
How old JJ Watt? 32, 33?
Somewhere around there.
Man, it better be if I'm GM, short deal.
Shit, you know who the GM is down there? It's Bill O'Brien. JJ stopped the flooding in Houston by himself, barehanded.
Yeah, you're right. You right.
You know.
Yeah, you're right. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot Bill O'Brien is running the show.
How these cats be finessing themselves into these positions of power, I don't understand. Adam Gase is basically running the Jets. Bill O'Brien's running the Texans. Boy, Deshaun Watson gonna get a record-ass deal.
And just because it's on top of my head right now, and I know if I don't say it right now, I'll forget it. But it goes right in what you just said. Throw it in real quick. Off topic, but on topic. Speaking of that, the cat from the Raptors that was the load management trainer last year just vaulted himself to VP.
You saw that shit?
Yeah,
by strictly and what did he do? Kawhi was like, I ain't playing tonight. All right, cool.
I'll let Coach know.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he had to do. Man, hey, fake it till you make it, man. These cats is getting on. He's like the load management guru. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. All right, let's keep this thing going. We talked about Drew Brees already. Kyle Allen pissed the bed, as we know, against you guys. We talked about it. We expect Cam back by Green Bay. At least that game. I'm interested to see practice tomorrow. If he's full go in practice tomorrow, I'm interested. See how that goes. All right. Now, this Trent Williams thing, we're going to run through this real quick, then we're going to talk about these bullshit trades. Trent Williams was trying to get traded. He ain't been there since all offseason, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when he did not get traded today, Trent Williams did report to Washington. Everybody's like, all right, 7-time Pro Bowler in the building. Turn up. Hold up. He don't plan on playing this year regardless.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, that's the report. It came out like, yeah, he reported, but he has no intentions of playing. Why the fuck did you go back if you don't plan on playing?
I was about to say, why come?
Yeah, that
You think they're gonna pay you?
just because you there? See, that's the part people
no.
don't. We talked about that during camp. Get there. Then fuck up your hamstring. You know, say
Get
you
on the bike.
hurt something. They gonna pay you then, but if you go in there telling them, look, I'm here, but I'm not really here. How does that work? How?
He's running the play that he should have ran in July.
In July.
At the end of October.
Easily. Should have did it then. Show up. Hell, I think I heard some dude on TV talking about how just go in the weight room, say you hurt your back lifting weights. They can't say that how hurt you really are. But, you know, speaking of that, it's crazy how these teams are going. You saw that story about old boy with the Jets who said he thought he should have had surgery. The team said he shouldn't.
Yeah.
And they ended up releasing
he had the surgery. He went and had it.
Yeah.
See? I can't pronounce his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm telling you, these teams
and I want to say,
cats.
I want to say I read too that it's going to be that situation not over because it's going to be some lawsuits and stuff filed based on some of the doctor mandates or whatever. But they apparently violated some HIPAA laws, I think, is what it was. But we're gonna see.
You can't just tell me I'm healthy and I'm gonna shoot you up. You're gonna go play. That shit don't work like that no more.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. We talked about Dalton. We talked about Flacco. The Rams, I think they got fat off of 2 suckers. We're gonna see what happens going forward. I mean, any offense that has issues, play Atlanta and Cincinnati back to back. It'll work out for you.
Yeah. I think both things can be true. You know, did they just play suckers or get back right? I think the suckers can sometimes get you back in a groove. So
yeah.
We'll see.
And Todd Gurley only carried the ball 10 times on Sunday.
Hey man, he's chilling, man.
Is his bread right? All right, where are we at? Oh, we can talk about the rumors and stuff that shouldn't have happened. Well, it should have happened but didn't happen. One thing before we went on when I was doing the notes, I was thinking about when I talk to you about trades and stuff. You say the same thing every year. Ain't nothing gonna happen. It'll always be the same. And I thought about it. I said, well, hell, he's kind of right. But a lot of this stuff happens, it seems like 2 weeks before. You know, nothing ever happens the day of. But most of these trades happen 2-3 weeks before the deadline. So stuff is happening, just not the day of the deadline. So
not only that, and it's always it's a lot of times good players, but you know, not elite players. Now we had Jalen Ramsey get moved this year. Marcus Peters got moved a couple weeks ago. You know, Emmanuel Sanders, Sanu, again, names, but you typically gonna have a lot of movement because the teams. I know you were saying like for instance, AJ Green. You know, you want to get something for him and don't lose him for nothing in the offseason. I think in football it's a little different than basketball because they have so much turnover from year to year anyway. And so you're always, quote unquote, losing something for nothing.
Yeah.
And then 2.
Well, don't they get a comp pick if he walks and signs to somebody else?
If he walks somewhere else, you get a comp pick too. So that's another big piece of it. So you still get a little something there. And then another big thing in the NFL, different than NBA, draft picks and cap space are more valuable than actual players sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you got a hard cap in the NFL. And draft picks are how you build your team where unless you got a top 5 pick in the NBA draft, who cares? Pretty much for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a little different with NBA teams. You can look at an NBA team where really you play 8 or 9 guys and say, we need this one guy to take us to the next level. It's harder in the NFL to say this one guy is going to take us to where we need to get. It's usually a boatload of shit that you need if you're in a bad spot. But shit is turning around though. It's starting to pick up more and more over the last couple of years.
Now I was thinking about we were talking earlier because I had no idea that they actually talked to y'all about AJ. They actually negotiated. My thing is what you just said was true. You're gonna get a 3rd round, maybe a 2nd, probably 3rd comp pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now I put that back on AJ. If AJ's like, look, I'm leaving this summer, y'all get what y'all can, then I think they would have sat there and traded that. They would have probably took a third to get him if that were the case. But if he ain't saying shit, if he ain't flat out telling them I'm leaving, then what's the point of holding on? That's the part.
Yeah.
If you can get that same pick now, because that comp pick ain't gonna be till 21, right? Or would it be this summer?
It depends. I think it depends on some stuff that I don't know off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
it would be in one of the next 2 years.
Yeah. So I hated to see him, remain with that team, especially now with a rookie quarterback coming in. But it seems like a lot of teams go down at the draft now, probably more than the deadline or before the draft.
Yeah, because NFL, I mean, teams they typically make their moves in the off season.
Yeah.
It's not too much that's gonna go on in season that's going to make I ain't gonna say not make a big difference, because some of these, even though they're no name players, some of them may actually end up making. I mean, look at Emmanuel Sanders with us; he can make a big difference.
I like
Michael
what I'm saying going to Dallas.
We gonna is he gonna stand for the national anthem?
I don't. I think he's gonna stand in the locker room. I think he's gonna stay in the locker room, but I think he'll bring a nastiness to that front line because they don't really seem nasty. And if he's in a rotation, because
I'm about to say, is he? What he got left?
If it's 10 plays, if he gives you 4 solid ones, that's best you're gonna expect for him because he's been around for a while. But the situational thing, I like him for that team. The rest of these. I don't know what they were expecting from Sanu. We're going to see. He's a solid wide receiver, but I don't think he's going to, push the needle but so much for them up there.
Yeah. I mean, we looked at Sanu's another cat we looked at according to the to the talk, but we didn't have a second to give up anyway to match the New England deal. But
so let's talk about what didn't happen. So the Jets basically were going to trade everybody today around 11 o'clock. And 4 o'clock, everybody's still Jets. What else? What else is out there?
Yeah, Jamal Adams tweeted about an hour or so ago that he met with the team brass last week and reiterated to them that he didn't want to go anywhere, that he wanted to stay, and they told him, all right, cool. And then he heard through the media or whatever that he was on the block. It's always going to be rumors and shit thrown out there, especially on the day of the deadline. Some of it's done by the team intentionally just to kind of gauge interest. Some of it's just, filler to kind of get off the scent, get teams off the scent or something else that may be happening. So
I didn't care for the Lev talk. I didn't care for that. Reason being, how do you go back and if it wasn't real, how do you go back when you just signed him? It was already shit when they first did it. It just seems to me
that's
like
why some of the stuff
in their front office.
Not only that, I just think some of this shit ain't even coming from these teams. Because I mean, some of it, like the Lev thing, you can look at them like, whatever. That's bullshit. He been there 5 games. There is no running back market in the trade, no trade for running backs right now.
Not for the money he's making.
For the money he's making, why would anybody trade and do that? And the Jets haven't been able to get that offensive unit together for enough games to even see what they got. So.
Yeah,
stuff.
I just felt like they would have came out and refuted that. Like, no, we're happy to have him here. But
man, they was too busy.
I guess it comes down to that front office. It's a lot going on up there.
Not only that, but on the day of the deadline, man, I'm trying to work actual deals. I ain't got time to be refuting no damn Twitter reports.
Yeah. I mean, and Lev got his money. I saw he put something out on Instagram about patience, and he's happy to be a Jet today. So
yeah, man. I mean, he your name sometimes your name get thrown out there. It is what it is. But you're right. The Jets are a clusterfuck. Always has been.
Yeah. So, I guess it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in March because, like you said, most of their work does get done in the off season. I kind of felt like they came off of Williams kind of fast. Given
Leonard Williams.
Yeah. I mean, it's just they've been in a constant state of rebuild for the last 5 or 6 years. So.
Mm-hmm. I think I want to say Leonard didn't mix well with Greg Williams.
And then they drafted Quinnen
this
past draft. So, I mean, I guess that was redundancy.
And maybe that has something to do with it. Looking at a few of these other trades,
Kenyon Drake get to go up against y'all front line. First game. Bless his heart.
You know, that's a trade I really don't understand. Chase Edmonds backed up David Johnson pretty good. Neither one of them, they hurt right now, but neither one of them seem to have a season-ending injury.
No, he just had a hamstring. Edmonds.
You know, why you go out and get another guy that was really a starter to add even more clutter to your running back situation? I don't know.
Right.
You know, who knows why they made that pick? I mean, we know Jakeem. We talk about Talib getting shipped to Miami. Does he even get on the plane?
No. He in Texas. He in Dallas. Cool.
You know, he on IR right now. I think he can come back like week 15.
Yeah,
like
not to play for them.
You know what I'm saying? Why? If I'm him, I'm packing it up. You know, he's 33 going on 34. Been in the league 12 years. He's got a Super Bowl ring. This is the last year of his contract.
Talib will be interesting on TV. He's a loose cannon.
Yeah. I don't see him walking that media line.
Nah, but you know, if they got Stack and Matt Barnes on TV, they like them loose cannons. Could you imagine what Talib would have to say? Oh my God,
that's true. That's true. That's true. I got to check out Matt Barnes and Stack's new podcast too.
I watched a little bit of it on YouTube the other day.
Okay.
Couple pieces of it. It wasn't too bad at all. Wasn't too bad. All right. Is that it? Is that all we got? We talked about this draft order.
Okay.
We talked about that. I mean, at this point, these teams are trying to.
Yeah. Right now, let's see. Right now, people is sitting. The draft order start today, and yes, it's a little early, but hell, this weekend we're at the halfway point. This shit almost over.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Miami, Washington, Atlanta, the Jets, Giants, Denver, Cleveland, Tampa, and the Chargers. That's how the top 10 would be. Side note, the Oakland Raiders, who are actually playing pretty good, are actually slotted right now to be the 11th pick, and they get the Bears pick wherever that may end up. Right now, it's set to be 13. So if they get 2 top 15 picks, they got a lot of other draft picks, I believe, right?
Yeah. And Miami has their pick, which would probably be 1 or 2. They got Pittsburgh's, which is 12, and then they got Houston's from the Tunsil trade.
Yeah. So I mean,
if you're gonna rebuild, that's a good way to rebuild. You just can't fuck up the picks. You can't.
Yeah.
So
and this is, and again, this is another basketball to NFL comparison. But this is a big reason sometimes why you can see from year to year in the NFL the turnover in teams that are actually good. They can go from shit to good in a year. Typically, on average, it's always 2 teams from each conference that made the playoffs one year that don't make it the next year. So it's always teams getting rebuilt, and getting better. It's just some of these teams like Miami and Cincinnati, Washington, the Jets aren't typically those teams.
I was just about to say, because Miami, if they could get it together in the front office and coaching, Miami, they got money. You telling me them cats wouldn't want to go live and play in Miami?
Oh, absolutely. And, you're looking at this Tom Brady era coming to an end. Who knows how long Belichick could be there. I know I saw something today saying he's down to coach until his 70s. We'll see. Because one thing to want to coach, but you may not get another Tom Brady.
Nope.
So that AFC East division pretty soon should be becoming available.
Yeah.
And, right now, I'd probably say Buffalo is the next best team, and that ain't really all that.
What you done seen so far? Who's the best quarterback in college right now?
I haven't watched enough college. I haven't watched enough of the best quarterbacks. I say that. The only one that I've probably seen on a consistent basis is Burrow down at LSU.
Okay. Is he? Because I heard somebody talking about him today. I've watched LSU, but I guess I ain't paid him no mind. He's solid.
Yeah, he's solid. I mean, you got LSU scoring points actually this year, and a lot of them. Yeah, and it's all him. It's definitely all him. He a big kid, big arm. He a little mobile. He can move around a little bit. I'll use their terms. He's fiery and feisty. He one of them cats.
I'm fearful of it.
I at this point, because I said I didn't really think Tua is a pro quarterback after he beat Georgia. Not just because he beat Georgia, but just looking at the totality of all his games, even that season after that, as I really should say. Now, not the Georgia game because he only played that game. But he's getting fat. They getting fat off all them sucker teams.
Playing them suckers.
You know, and the traits that I see from him are Brett Favre-ish, but he ain't Brett Favre. And what I mean, the throwing in the traffic, the unadvised, ill-advised throws, he makes too many of those, and he does it in big games.
Right.
I don't see him. I don't like him as a pro. Not for me. The Hebert guy, Hebert kid, I think it's Hebert from
Herbert.
Oregon. Herbert.
Yeah.
Is it Oregon?
Yeah, Oregon.
One of them damn Pac-12 schools. I ain't seen not one snap of him this year.
I watched him a little bit, and I ain't been super impressed from what I saw.
It's about 4 or 5 cats they talk about. Who Justin Fields coming out?
Nah,
he's gonna be a project even when he does come out.
Eason, been hearing a lot more about him this year, but you know,
I haven't seen the Washington game, another Pac-12 school. So we'll see. The other one I'm missing, Michigan. That's the other kid. I think that's right up there in that top 5 or 6 quarterbacks. The kid from Michigan.
Well, what we need you to start doing is stand your ass up on Thursday night and Saturday night watching the Pac-12 games at 11 o'clock.
If I do that, you gotta watch them Big Sky games, Utah versus BYU on Friday night.
Let's get up out of here. We ain't got time to talk no basketball, but it's early. Clippers are pretty good. And you Golden State fans, I gotta take y'all lumps. Y'all was running up the scores, whooping people's asses for the last 3, 4, 5 years now.
Shimmying and shit.
Take them lumps. You know, it is what it is. Wouldn't it be fascinating, though, if they sucked this year and ended up with, like, a high lottery pick? That would be something, wouldn't it?
Who they gonna get, though?
I don't know. You know, I don't look at the NBA lottery and all that stuff till later on, but I don't know who's even coming out. Who's good?
I caught a glimpse of it. Of just one. You know, there's 10,000 of them out there mock drafts, and this is very early. Guess who was sitting at number 1 on this particular mock draft?
Cole Anthony.
Cole fucking Anthony.
And they don't need him. They need an athletic big or a wing that can score.
And I can't tell you off the top of my head if there's any of those kind of guys coming out. Yeah. That's worthy of a top 5 pick. So, we'll see. Long basketball season ahead, but it's very exciting that it is here. LeBron, keep your wig on, man. I hope y'all find a hotel out there in LA. Y'all people be safe out there with them fires. Big game for
Dwight Howard was gonna be solid for them. He just learning to accept his role, catch them lobs, block shots, and rebound.
And put on the condom. Big game for our Bulldogs this weekend. Georgia, Florida, Cocktail Bowl. It's gonna go a long way to us trying to get back in the thick of that playoff ranking before they release it in a couple of weeks. Auburn, LSU, Alabama still right up there, but they all on the same side of the SEC West, and they all got to play each other still. Yeah. So those games, that'll take care of itself. We just got to take care of our business. I know we moved up to 8 in the AP poll. I think Florida is 6 right now.
Oklahoma helped us losing.
Oklahoma helped us. Wisconsin helped us the week before. So that was 2 teams.
They asked for this past week too. That's right.
Right.
Ohio State ran it up on them.
Exactly. So we still got some work to do, and we need some other teams to cooperate because losing, it's not just the loss that we've got, it's that we lost to South Carolina.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to get to the SEC championship and win it in order to get into that playoff.
Absolutely.
All right, people, we finna get up out of here, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. This is episode 197 of AA Sports, Straight Sports No Chaser. Again, we hope y'all enjoyed the show. Check us out on YouTube, Spreaker, and iTunes on those podcast platforms.
Yes,
we got Facebook page, AA Sports. We also post our content to the Urban Arena Media Sports page. So check us out there. Shout out to Kane and Ice. Get with it Sports over there, the whole team. Uncle Haight, if people want to interact with you on social media, get at you. Where they reach you at on Twitter for some Panthers commentary.
K6000. Holla at me. I talk sports.
All right, you can find me. I'm at Diego Barish. I'm on Twitter as well. And yes, I do tweet subliminally, and I don't care.
Hey. Nothing wrong with a good sub.
I mean, sometimes it's got to be a sub because sometimes you're trying to address 50 idiots, so it's just best with one tweet. There you go. All right, people, we're finna get up out of here. We will holler at y'all next week. Well, no, we'll holler at y'all Thursday for our pick show for week 9. And we will be in and out because my Niners play on Thursday. So for AA Sports, Straight Sports, no goddamn chaser, Uncle Hay, your boy Diego Barishnikov, we up out of here. Y'all be easy. Holler at y'all in a couple days. Peace.